All right. For those of you that may not know what's going on there or what that is, that would be the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam. And that's the gift shop being overran as they had a limited edition Pikachu Pikachu gray hat card and some other materials there that were only available at that museum, from what I understand. I've got an article I was looking through here, and so they have now pulled that collectible card. It was limited edition, and they're no longer selling that stuff there because of how the people acted. I don't know if there was damage or not to the museum, but I know the gift shop is overran. And so what I want to point out here is this is very important to look at and understand the situation of the world as a whole. Now, for a lot of us, when we think of the economy being bad, we think of just the United States economy and don't take the world economy into account. Now, I'm going to flip over to another screen on my side here so I can reference something, but this is a symptom of people trying to get money, trying to financially secure something or financially secure themselves so that they can do better for themselves. The card alone, I'm looking on eBay because that's generally going to find this kind of stuff. The card alone right now has listings that have already been graded. That means somebody had bought multiples of the card. I know they're multiples because I see listings from the same people. And there's one here for $620 right now. It's only had 13 bids. It's almost done. And if you're not familiar with eBay's bidding system, usually the last hour the bids start to climb up. And I haven't refreshed here in a few minutes because I pulled the page up when I started making this video, but it's still at 620. There are listings everywhere that people are bidding into. Even the art from that gallery is going for hundreds of dollars. The t-shirts from that gallery are going for $50. And I'm pretty sure they sold for a little bit less than that there. But it's all over the place. And this is people that a lot of people are like, well, they're being opportunistic, or no, this is people that are hurting for money. And if they can go get a limited edition card for a little bit of money and go resell it for a bunch. Now, I don't know what the card was selling for. I don't think the article says that here. I think it just says that they have it. It does say that a good chunk of the buyers are scalpers. They've already confirmed that, and they've mentioned that. But this card in particular, whatever they were charging for that card, people are getting a lot of money back for it. And that's where we are. Now, here's the funny thing about that. A few are going to sell for a lot, but then a bunch are not going to have good resale value because this has been a more recent phenomenon. These might do okay because they're limited edition and they're severely limited. But I want you to remember back when McDonald's was doing the Pokemon cards, how everybody went nuts for those and the resale value plummeted because they were not limited. There was a good supply of them. But people, even people working at the McDonald's, were selling the boxes of the Happy Meal cards. They were all over eBay. You could spend $3,000 and get a whole stock. How they were getting away with that, I don't know. And I don't remember reading any stories about anybody getting fired over that. So maybe it was like the whole crew was in on it at the franchise or at that location, and they were doing it. Who knows? I did get some packs, I'm not going to lie, but they weren't specifically for resale because I do reselling, but I'm not that type of reseller. I learned my lesson early on where I found that it just isn't worth it because the resale value isn't that high. You either got to get in so early and you have to know somebody, which then feels dirty and feel like you're cheating the system. And I don't have the conscience to be able to cheat people to try to make money. And maybe that makes me worse off. I don't know. But either way, nothing that's a collectible these days is truly a collectible. If you lose a collectible in the Pokemon sphere for modern day stuff like that, it's common. It's just common because they churn out millions of these. Like back when I was younger, Magic the Gathering produced very limited runs of cards. But then as they got more exposure, they started producing millions upon millions of cards. I want to say that more recent runs they've done have around 300 million of some cards in print. So even when I'm in my 60s, some of the Magic cards that are around from even 5 years ago aren't going to be worth much. Whereas a lot of playing cards done prior to that, limited runs, are going to be worth a bit. And I'm holding on to those because maybe they will be someday. But collectibles aren't done the same way anymore. They make sure now that if they produce something and people start charging a lot for it, they produce more of it and cheapen that price while making money for themselves. And that's kind of I kind of feel cheated to a degree because that's kind of the part of the point of collectibles, right? You buy some rare things up, you hold on to them and maybe sell them. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The hoarding like we're seeing in there though, wow, that's ridiculous. And we've seen that happen even with Pokemon cards regularly at Walmart, Target. Remember they had to stop that? I think it was during COVID. They had to stop selling the cards in certain quantities to people because people were buying them all up. There was nothing special about them. that I can recall, there was nothing in particular special. It was just that it was rumored or whatever it was, something started the sale. If I'm wrong about that, put it in the comments what made those cards so special, because I really want to know, and I'm obviously not going to look it up while I'm doing the video, but let me know. Somebody's got to know out there. But yeah, and we see now, just to sidestep for a minute, Magic the Gathering, Wizards of the Coast, if you will, they've started to produce limited edition sets of cards that are not tournament playable, that make no sense in the Magic universe. It's really upset a lot of the core Magic fans, and they're marketing them as limited edition, but they're not. They're not limited edition. They're producing millions of them. It's not limited edition if you're producing millions of them. In contrast to that, they had released a limited edition set of cards that truly was limited edition, but the price was so high. I think it was a couple $1,000s, something like that. And card shops that were selling these were only getting, I think, 2 of that set. That's it. 2 per card shop. That's it. Which obviously was going to create problems. So yeah, the collectibles market as it was is not existent like it used to be. So sorry for the long video, guys. Feel free to leave comments on what your take on this is. And again, if you know about the Pokemon thing I think it was during COVID, let me know down in the comments below.